So, welcome to day number 1. What I want you to do as we go through this is just follow my instructions as much as you want. And the reason I say that is because some of the stuff I'm going to get you to do, you might find uncomfortable. Or some of the stuff I get you to do, you might find that you absolutely love and makes you feel wonderful. I want you to do more of the stuff that makes you feel great and less of the stuff that doesn't make you feel great. But as we go through, I want you to challenge yourself a little bit as well. As long as you're not giving yourself an acute pain or a sharp pain, I want you to go through this course following what I do and just test yourself out. The first time we go through this course, you're going to learn more about yourself. But because you have lifetime access to this course, you can go back and start it again later, and you might find that you learn even more and you can do a little bit more and you become a little more resilient and feel a little bit better. So as we go through all this, just know that you have the option of opting out of any of the movements or exercises that I do, and you also have the option of hitting pause and doing more of it if you find that it feels really good for you. So with that being said, let's jump right into movement number 1. So to get started, what I want you to do is you're going to have to come forward a little bit, just away from your backrest. So it doesn't have to be all the way, but you're going to want to come forward a few inches. And if you can, try to sit towards the very front of your chair. So the first exercise is called the seated cat-cow. And that's because if you've ever seen a cat stretch, they can push their back way up into the air. And you've probably all seen a big fat cow on the side of the road that their back is just sagging, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get our spine moving forward and backwards. And we're going to do that about 10 times. Over the series of the next 5 days, I want you to push a little bit harder and try to get it a little bit further. But for today, what I want you to do is just go through the movements. So we're going to start by having both hands on our knees, and we're going to take essentially our rib cage and our belly and our chest, and we're going to push them forward, and we're going to push them up, and then we're going to hold for a split second. Then we're going to do the exact opposite. Take our chest, our rib cage, and our belly, and we're going to push them straight back, like we're trying to round our back, like a cat doing a stretch or like a turtle shell. And we're just going to go back and forth doing that 10 times, and we're going to start that right now. So for rep number 1, let's push forward, everything forward and up. And then we're going to go all the way back and hold for a second. And that's rep number 1. And you can just follow along. We're going to do 9 more. Make sure that you keep breathing as we do this. And as you go, feel free to use your hands to pull your chest and your ribs and your belly forward, and use your hands to push your spine back. What you'll figure out from following me through a bunch of these exercises is I enjoy them quite a bit myself. So there's a good chance I'm going to lose count of the reps. There's nothing magical about 10. It's just a nice round number that we use. So if you end up doing less, that's fine. If you want to do a little bit more, that's also fine. Let's just do 1 more. Good. And then relax. So in between each one of these exercises, all I want you to do is to try to relax as much as you can and return your breathing to normal. That's one of the important parts here, is we want this to be normal for your body, not something that only happens when you have an intensity about you. So try to make sure that you actually get your breathing back to normal by giving yourself something of a sigh in between each one of these exercises. It should help you to stay relaxed and to make this kind of a normal way that your body should feel as we go. So the next exercise that we're going to do is going to be a stretch for our hamstrings. Our hamstrings are the muscles that are on the back of our thighs. So these muscles actually connect to the back of your shin bone, and they connect all the way up into your butt cheek, up into your pelvis. And so what these tend to do is they bend your knee, and to stretch them, we usually have to have some kind of straightened leg. So if you have a stool or something that you feel like you want to put your foot up on, it'll usually help you to get a stretch without you having to lean as far forward. But most people will be able to do some form of stretch for their hamstrings purely by getting towards the front of their chair and putting their heel on the ground in front of them. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So you're going to get towards the front of your chair, and we're going to start by taking one leg, and we're going to put it straight out in front of us. You don't have to have your toe aiming straight up. You also don't need to have it pointed across the room. I'd encourage you to just have it relaxed in a way that's comfortable for your ankle and for your foot. So when we lean forward now, what I want you to do is, rather than try to cave your shoulders forward, I want you to try to take your belly button down towards the floor behind the knee that's straightened. So it's going to be something like that. So it's not going to look like a huge range of motion because your upper body isn't going very far. But you can do this, and it's not actually going to stretch your hamstrings at all. All it's going to do is just round your back, which is what we did in the last exercise. So we're going to do 10 repetitions on one leg, take a breath, then do 10 on the other leg, starting now. So just lean forward far enough, try to keep your belly forward until you get a stretch, hold for a split second, and then come back. We're going to do the same thing again. You don't have to have your leg perfectly straight, especially if that's uncomfortable on your knee. You can have it slightly bent. If you do have it slightly bent, what you'll find is that you get a stretch in a different part of your hamstring anyway. For me, I'm going to do it straight, and if you can, I'd encourage you to do the same. And we're just going to do one more. Good. So take a nice breath in between. Try to make sure that you get everything relaxed. Stay towards the front of your chair still. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the other leg. We're going to straighten it out. Get into a position that's comfortable for you. If you've had previous sciatica, meaning you've had pain down the back of your leg before, just make sure that you're careful with this and you don't push too hard and you don't hold for too long. And I'd encourage you as well to make sure your knee is slightly bent if sciatica is something that you've had before. That's not all pain down the legs, but something that's been diagnosed by a healthcare professional as sciatica, which is a nerve pain that goes down your leg. So let's get into the other position. Same thing, hands on thigh, and we're going to do 10 repetitions of leaning forward, leaning with our belly, starting now. And as we go through this, just know that some people are going to be very different on one side to the other. For me, my right leg is significantly tighter than my left because I have had sciatic injury on that side. Doesn't mean that we don't do it. It just means that I'm a little more careful when it comes to the right side. Try to keep your chest and belly doing the work for you. Move those forward. Usually means you won't go quite as far, which is fine. Good. And we've got about 10 repetitions there. So let's take another breath, get nice and relaxed before we move on. So our next exercise is going to be in a different plane of motion. The first two that we did were straight front to back. Now we're going to start to twist a little bit. So this one is going to be a little variable depending on how much range of motion you naturally have, how much you want to use your arms, and the kind of chair that you're seated in. So you might have to play with this one a little bit just to make sure that you're actually getting the range of motion and the twist that you want. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the back of my chair, and I'm going to use my hand on the outside of my knee. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a big twist to the side. For now, just let your legs do whatever they want to be able to give you access to twisting through the spine rather than trying to isolate it a little bit. So for me, what I can do is I can actually grab onto my chair while taking the opposite hand and putting it on the outside of the knee. Or you could do it like this as well. So I'm pushing with this hand, and I'm actually pushing with this hand as well to push this way to get my spine into a big twist. So the other direction, it'll look like this. If you have a flexible spine to start with and you just want to be able to stretch it out, you might actually be able to just scoot off to the side and use both hands on your chair just to pull yourself into a twist. If you have a chair that you can't hold on to and you can't get a good grasp, or you just can't go far enough, what I'd encourage you to do is actually just take both your hands on the outside of one of your thighs, and then you're going to take this hand, you're going to push this way, you're going to take this hand, and you're going to pull this way, so that we're doing something like this, or something like this. This is meant to give us just a little bit of leverage so we can get ourselves into a nice big twist. So you can't do this with your back against the chair. So again, you're going to make sure you're scooted forward just a little bit. Make sure you have some room. And then what we're going to try to do is to have our breath coordinate with this so that we're breathing out as we're twisting, breathing back in as we come back. So it will look like this. It becomes a little bit harder to control our breath as we twist because it puts a little bit of compression onto our lungs and our guts. That's entirely normal. So make sure the breath is not your primary thing. Just if you have the ability, try to match it with your breath in each direction. So I'm going to start, and we're going to do 10 twists to the left, take a little break, and do 10 twists to the right, starting now. You might want to use today to just kind of play with it a little bit, figure out how you can get the best leverage to get yourself twisted nice and far. And try, if you can, to stay upright while we do this rather than cave your chest forward. Try to keep your chest up high just to make sure that we're not rounding forward. We're staying nice and tall. We've just got a couple more here to the left. Good. And then relax. So as you've probably figured out, this is a slightly more intense exercise and twist than the first two that we did. So I'd encourage you to start gentle, even if it means that you're not going very far, just to make sure that you're adapting to this as the days go on. But if it feels good for you and you really feel like you're getting a nice stretch and twist out of it, go for it. There's very little risk to doing this. We're done twisting to one side. Once you get nice and relaxed, I want you to make sure that you're ready to get to the other side. So kind of wiggle and get yourself in position, and we're going to do 10 repetitions of a twist to the other side. Starting now. We're at about halfway. As you go, I want you to try looking over your shoulder as well. That'll just cue your body to try to twist a little bit further, because where your eyes go, your body usually tries to follow. So if you're fine with it, I want you to try looking over that shoulder as you twist. And don't be afraid to use some muscle to get you over there. We've got one more. Good. And take a breath, try to get everything relaxed, get everything back into position. Just explore a little bit around your body, see how it feels, see if that felt good for you, see if there's anything you need to change next time you do it. Just take note because we're going to be doing it again later. Okay, the last movement that we're going to do today is a neck and chest kind of stretch. So for this, rather than being forward to back and rather than being twisting, we're actually going to go side to side. So if it turns out that you can't get into the position to do this, I'd encourage you to alter it. So the position I would like people to get in is to actually put hands on top of their head, or they're going to be hands behind the head. If you have hands on top of your head, that's entirely fine. If we hang out here for too long and you start to get any numbness or tingling or pain going down your arms, I'd encourage you to alter it, meaning you can bring your arms forward or you can just bring your arms down in some way. So the easiest for most people is to have hands right on top of your head, and then you take the top of your skull and push it up into your hands to keep you tall. If this is a position that won't work for you, I'd encourage you to just put hands across your shoulders like this so that you have one hand on either shoulder. And if that's a position that won't work for you, then I encourage you just to kind of wrap them around the front like this, just so that you're attached to your ribs. So for this, you're probably going to want to have your legs a little bit wider because we're going to be off to the side, and I want to make sure that you're not giving yourself any kind of balance problems. So give yourself a little bit of a wider stance with your feet, and then we're going to put hands on head, and then we're going to do just a reach off to one side, and then we're going to do a reach off to the other side. So you're probably going to feel a little bit of compression and a little bit of tension in your sides while we do this. That's the whole point. We're going to be doing a little bit of strengthening and a little bit of stretching of the sides at the bottom of our rib cage. So we're going to do 5 per direction for 10 total. So get hands on head, try to get into an upright position, and then we're going to start by leaning off to the right and reach. Try to take this top elbow up towards the ceiling and then come back. And we're going to do the same thing the other way. Reach, take that elbow up towards the ceiling, and then come back. There's 2. And we're going to reach again, and come back, and reach again, and come back. And there's 4. So we're going to keep going all the way to 10. We've just got 2 more. Good. And there's 10. So let your arms down, shake them out, and relax. And congratulations, you've come to the end of day number 1. I'm hoping that you've learned a little bit about how your body functions and how your spine feels when we do certain kinds of movements. I'm sure a few things that we did today were challenging for you because they're challenging for everybody. So make sure that you dial things back just to the point where the range of motion is accessible to you and you feel like you're going to recover from it and you're going to feel good from it. Look forward to seeing you on day number 2.